Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 3rd of April, with Robert Murray McShane, who we're reading through the Psalms today, Psalm 6. And in verse 6, David writes, I am worn out from my groaning. All night long I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fail because of all my foes. So here is David crying out desperately to God because of his enemies, those stacked against him. We're not told exactly when this happened, but there's enough times in David's life when this could have been the situation. And he's desperately crying out to God. And then he continues, Away from me, all you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayers. And so he's praying to God, and he has confidence that God has heard him. He says to his enemies, you better leave because God's on my side. God's heard me. God will take my part in this. Not because he's now suddenly victorious. He's not looking back at the victory. He's looking forward to the victory that he's asked God for. His confidence isn't in his situation, but in God. And he knows that God has heard him and God is going to answer. And so even though he is currently, in the present tense, I am worn out. I flood my bed. My eyes grow weak. Despite the fact that that's where he is at the moment, he has the confidence that God will deliver him. And I think that's a great example for us, because so often we end up in places where we're desperate and we're crying out to God for help, and we need something, and we haven't got it yet. And if we keep delaying, we lose hope. And we need to put our confidence in God and say, God does hear us when we pray. He answered David, and you read through his story, every time God came through for him. And God will do the same for us. We might not see it now. It might only happen tomorrow or next week, but we know that God will do it. And therefore we have our confidence in God. And that will make our present situation more tolerable, because we know it's not going to just keep on going forever. It will reach an end. God is going to come through. There will be a change. And we can therefore face our bed where we're crying out to God with a little more peace and equanimity as we do that. So be encouraged that God does hear us and God will help us. And as he does that, we are blessed.